Recorded Books presents Loving's Love, A Black American's Experience in Aviation by Neal V. Loving, narrated by James Shippy. Prologue. Hastening to Disaster. Sunday morning, July 30th, 1944. I was scheduled to hold a training session for Selected Civil Air Patrol, CAP, cadets at Wings Airport outside Detroit, to ensure that my glider, Wayne S-1, NX-2 7775, was airworthy. I went to my glider manufacturing facility, Wayne Aircraft Company, co-owned by longtime friend Ursley Taylor, the day before to complete the pre-flight inspection. Upon finding a loose seat bracket, I began the necessary repairs, but was not able to finish before it became necessary to leave for the 3 p.m. shift at the Ford Motor Company. When I called Ursley, without hesitation she promised her brother Rudy would be able to complete the repairs that day. With that assurance, I went to work in pleasant anticipation of a date the next day with my fiancée, Marie Patterson. The spring and summer had been unseasonably cool, and this was our first opportunity for an outdoor activity. We had planned a picnic just for the two of us at Belle Isle after my morning cap duties were completed. We looked forward to being together in the quiet, wooded picnic area, enjoying our lunch and watching the huge iron ore freighters move down the Detroit River. Reporting for work on a Saturday afternoon shift, I asked my supervisor for permission to take Sunday off, due to the war Ford was working 7 days a week, with the provision that if the weather was bad, I would cancel my plans and report for work as usual. However, Sunday turned out to be a beautiful summer day, which, in the course of events to follow, changed the shape of my life forever. After leaving Ford's at midnight, I drove straight to the shop to check on NX-2 7775. The repairs had not been completed. Since it was too late to cancel the CAP training session, I worked furiously to repair the damaged seat structure. It was almost 5 a.m. when the job was completed, and my body and mind were fatigued. Arriving home, I took a quick bath and went to bed for 2 hours of sleep. At 8 a.m., I was back at the glider shop where the CAP cadets had been ordered to report. Ursley, our CAP commander, Rudy, and Marie were already there and joined the cadets in loading NX-2 7775 onto the trailer. Since we had done this procedure many times, it was not long before we departed for Wings Airport, 18 miles north of Detroit. After turning into the airport driveway, I stopped at the office to ask the manager about conditions of the field, which was being graded and was in poor condition except for the one sod runway. He suggested I check on the field condition by driving my car out on the field. Looking at my watch, I knew this would delay my planned picnic, so I decided against it and walked directly to the fully assembled glider. My crew chief informed me that a critical portion of the glider tow rope had been inadvertently left at the shop, which would seriously reduce the altitude I could attain before completing my usual 180-degree turn and downwind landing. Again, ignoring proper safety procedures and precautions, I decided to proceed without delay. A glance at the windsock showed the wind was blowing across the runway, which would mean a loss of precious altitude while compensating for drift. Even with this disturbing news, there was no sense of alarm. Climbing into the cockpit, I checked the airspeed indicator, a chrome-plated circular wind vane, mounted in front of me on a vertical streamlined post. The vane rotated against the calibrated spring as airspeed increased. Reading from 0 to 50 miles per hour were printed on the outer edge. It was properly set at 0 miles per hour. In my hurry, however, I failed to note that the calibrated spring was not also set at 0, resulting in the airspeed indicator registering 10 miles per hour higher than actual airspeed.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?